Welcome to Playful Podcast, your guide into the underground scene where we discover topics on kink and electronic music every week. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss out on our next episode.
We are excited to be here today with the podcaster, kinkster, and former adult film performer, Florian Kunze-Forrest. And in this episode, we speak about his relation to kink and pee, what it was like to act in adult films and why he switched to OnlyFans, and then some about Berlin clubs and, of course, Christmas. Let's get to it. I am Amanda, and this is Playful Podcast.
I did, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Oh, I hated it so much.
But how long time did you do it for?
6 months.
Only 6 months?
I hated it so much. I hated it so much for so many reasons. Because back in the day, when you did porn, it was studio porn.
Yeah.
So, but studio porn back in the day was just like this, 8 hours, filming shifts. And then, the storyline, stupid storyline, who, everyone is skipping in the beginning.
Plumber.
It's so stupid. And then I was working for Tim. He was very nice. There was also a very easy filming. But the rest I did for the studios were it's like your left leg has to be here. The right leg has to be there. Then the light. Then you have to be hard. Then you have to be soft. Then you have to come. Then you have and it's like this. And they were not nice.
I'm so excited to have you
I saw my name on here. That's so cool.
Yes.
I love it.
Of course. You're a big guest.
You're prepared. I love it.
I'm prepared.
I love prepared people.
Yeah. And also, Christmas is coming in 4 days. So I'm having some glühwein. You're having
I'm
tea?
having tea because,
Because you don't
But
drink. And there's no alcohol-free glühwein in Germany, is there?
Or they always have kids. We call it punch. What's like punch? Yeah, it's like just like red tea, I guess, with some fruit juice, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Cherry fruit juice or something. It's very sweet though.
Yeah,
I don't
not
like
so
it.
good.
I don't like it. I love chocolate, like milk and chocolate. Love that.
How long have you been sober?
Well, I'm not sober.
Okay. Mistake by me.
No, I just don't like alcohol.
Okay.
I just don't like it because I was very close to my mom when I was a kid. And my mom I wouldn't call her an alcoholic, but she had some issues with alcohol. So, but she was never really drunk or something, and it was not really bad, but I had that weird connection to alcohol when I was a kid. And then when I got a teenage age, I never was a cool kid. Like when I was 12 or 13, I was never a cool kid. So there was no reason for me to be I need to be cool for drinking with my friends. And also my friends were not cool. So there was no reason to drink alcohol or something. So it was just tasting awful.
Yeah.
And then I changed school when I was 16 or 17 because I got bullied when I was because I was a very shy kid. So my mom took me off my other school and sent me to the city school. And then I met a lot of new friends. And then I became coolish.
Yeah,
because
how come?
Because I figured out that I am a really good skater.
Oh.
With a skateboard. So I had lots of skater friends. So I had some
They're
cool...
the untouchables somehow, the skaters.
So we were always the outsiders, but cool people.
Yeah.
So I became kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then it was too late to start drinking alcohol because I was already 16 or 17. And yeah. So
you
I never
already then? No, I'm sober.
No, the thing is, that was never ever but there was never ever a thought about it. It was I need to be sober. I just didn't like it.
Yeah?
I was why should I do it if I don't like it?
What did you start with then? Drugs immediately?
No, I never did drugs before I moved to Berlin.
No,
never. When I was in school, our teachers teach us that if you're taking drugs, you die. No matter what drug you're taking. I remember that they told us...
It starts with a joint, ends with heroin.
I can tell you, I never smoked weed in my life. Never, ever.
No?
No. Because I don't smoke. So there was no point of me and then they started having edibles and all the muffins with it's get away with this. Because I don't need something to relax. I can I told your boyfriend, put me somewhere and I can sleep.
Yeah.
No matter where I'm coming from, no matter party, no matter what, if I'm at some point I'm getting tired and then I need my bed. Because that's the biggest love of my life is my bed.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I never started smoking weed. But then I moved to Berlin, and then I got in touch with party drugs. But also,
how old were you when you moved here?
I moved here when I was 31.
31.
31, yeah.
All right. All right. If you would describe yourself with 3 words, what would they be?
Funny. Very organized. And loyal.
Yeah. Great skill. The loyal one. But also organized. Like you work 80% as a nurse.
Yes.
And 100% as a
Slut.
Yeah, and you even organize your slut appointments.
Everything.
That's
I don't
amazing.
have a management or
So
something.
you're your own assistant as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So all the money gets to me. So I'm taking all the money.
Nailed it.
Right? Yeah, I'm very
Amazing.
organized. I'm also very organized at home. So I'm always call myself like an old housewife. I'm not crazy. So if you come home to my place, you can see that there's someone living. Because I have a friend, he is even crazier than me with that. But when you come to his place, you think it's like a doctor's practice.
Really?
Because it looks like this. Because you think no one lives there.
Sterile.
Which I think is crazy. But I'm very clean. I love, I'm always making my bed in the morning. Because I think you have your life together when you're making your bed in the morning.
They say.
Right?
They say.
And to me, it's like, and because I love my bed so much, I'm making my bed in the morning.
Oh, you're taking care of it.
And I think about, and tonight I can't sleep there again.
So fun.
Yeah.
All right, we were talking a little bit about your youth. Were you were shy? What was your view on sex and sexuality back then?
I was a very shy kid, and I also was like a very unsexual kid. I figured out about my body like when I was 9 or 10, but with myself. I was not like I feel like when you're gay, you feel it at a very young age. So not that you're really gay, but you feel that there's something different with you than other people. So I felt that because I love Barbies when I was a kid, and I had, Beverly Hills 90210, that TV show, and they had Barbies from that show.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they had some dolls from that show. I had all these dolls because I was a big fan, and my mom bought me the dolls. And then Dylan and Brandon had like a secret gay affair.
Oh, yeah,
So they were always like making out with me. So yeah, but I always thought I'm maybe bisexual or like, but until I had interest in other people, I was like 16 or 17, and I had like my first relationships were with girls.
And you made out with them?
Yeah, I had sex with them and everything. And I had a long relationship with the girl until I was 25.
Oh.
The thing is though, I always felt maybe I'm bisexual, and I was in love with that girl. It was a really nice girl. She was really good looking. She was a very smart, very funny, tall girl, like long curly hair, like brown curly hair. She was very funny. She was the best. But I always felt having sex, I felt like there was something kind of missing for me. I couldn't tell what it is. So, and I always said, because I grew up like in a village in the countryside. When I meet a guy and I fell in love with the guy, I would say like I'm outing myself and say, okay, I'm bisexual, whatever I am. And then I met a guy when I was 25, and we had sex, and I knew immediately, okay, I'm gay, because this is like on another level.
And you had already been breaking up with her before?
Yeah.
Or was that the reason?
No. I broke up with her before, but yeah, I met the guy, but then I broke up with her before something happened. So I was like, yeah.
So that was, and with her you were not very sexual? Or you felt like you were like, I'm not a very sexual person, and then you were like, fuck, I'm gay, I'm super sexual.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. Because with her, and she was also not very into sex. We had sometimes sex, which was fine, but it was never like fulfilling. But yeah, like I said, we had a great relationship for like 2.5 years, and then I met a guy, and I became like a very sexual person. But the first years, I think until I moved to Berlin.
Aha! And you said that was how many years ago? 10.
Now, I mean, I'm 42 now, and I moved to Berlin 2011, so 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying fresh, for sure.
Well, thanks for the filler. No, I have good genetics in you. I don't smoke and drink.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So
Listen up, guys. Quit the cigs. All right. But then, so from living in the village, finding out you're gay, turning out, like, understanding that you're a sexual human being,
Yeah.
and then to starting with porn.
Yes, I was a very sexual person before I moved to Berlin, but when I moved to Berlin, it became even bigger because I always liked porn. I always liked watching porn. I always liked the idea of like exposing yourself and like showing all of this. And the thing is also because when I grew up, my mom was very outgoing. She loved being naked. She loved being, she was always like topless when she was sunbathing, or she was always just in a like underwear at home. So I always had to tell her when I brought someone home to play when I was a kid. So Mom, can you please get dressed because So I grew up with nudity and everything. So that was always, being naked was always very natural to me. So I never had an issue like to take my clothes off, because I always say if someone never saw like a dick than mine, then that's his fault, not mine. So it's like I can show off whatever I want. And then so I got into porn, which I really liked. And then when I moved to Berlin, I met some porn actors. So like Tim Kruger became a friend of mine.
Through clubbing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So I got in touch with him, and then and then he at some point. So I told him, and he was like, "Oh, well, if you want, you can work with my studio if you want." And then also I met my ex-husband the same time, and he was already a porn actor from America. So I got in touch with like a lot of porn people at the same time. I was like, "Oh, I should try this." That's 12 years ago, and then I did it.
You were a nurse then for 10 years already?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you moved to Berlin because you got a job?
No, I wanted to move to Berlin because I wanted to live in Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
Because as a nurse, you can work everywhere.
Yeah.
There are hospitals everywhere. So, no. Because I fell in love with the city.
Yeah. But was there ever a struggle? Because it sounds like you were so easy breezy somehow with like for some people it can be like, well, then I wasn't sure if I should try porn because I felt a bit of some things with the family or whatever, religion, it can be anything. But were you feeling like, well, this is my choice?
It was a mix of things. Because first of all,
now we go. If you are or want to become a Patreon and get our extra material, you'll get access to some mega pro tips from Flo about how to grow your OnlyFans. And I'm telling you, his recommendations are not obvious. So go to patreon.com/playfulmagazine to listen.
It was a mix of things because I was never very close to my natural family, because my mom died when I was 18. And I was very close to her. I was kind of close to my dad too, but my dad was always very distant, but he was always like this. And I have a brother who is 7 years older. I was never close to my brother, never, because he's so much older.
How much did you
7 years.
7 years.
So and the rest of my family is just like whatever. So there was not like thinking about my family. And my friends, I mean, I had Berlin friends. They were like, Berliners are always very open. And my best friend, who was like my sister, that was the only kind of issue I had, and I was thinking about what she's gonna say about it and stuff. But then I was like, whatever, I want to try it, and so and I did, and I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
I hated it so much.
But how long time did you do it for?
6 months.
Only 6 months?
I hated it so much. I hated it so much for so many reasons. Because back in the day, when you did porn, it was studio porn.
Yeah.
So, but studio porn back in the day was just like this, 8 hours, filming shifts. And then, the stupid storyline, who, everyone is skipping in the beginning.
Plumber.
It's so stupid. And then, I was working for Tim. He was very nice. There was also a very easy filming. But the rest I did for the studios were it's your left leg has to be here. The right leg has to be there. Then the light. Then you have to be hot. Then you have to be soft. Then you have to come. Then you have to... And it's like this. And they were not nice. It was not a nice work environment. No. And I did I think I did Tim, and I did maybe to the movies. I hated it. And then I was like, no, give me a break. I don't like this business.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, I started it with like, I think I was very naive. I was like, oof, yes, I love sex. I love guys. I love dicks. I love ass. So I go to have sex and like, fucking like really hot guys. Well, I did, but like I thought I'm just going to having sex and go home. I never thought about like this, like, and it's also, it's very superficial. It's very about body. It's very about how you look, and like they always have to complain.
Conscious?
Yeah, and I was the thing is also when I was a kid, I was very skinny. I'm very tall. I was very, very skinny. I always have had issues like gaining muscles and gaining weight, and so I was back in the day. I thought I'm very buff, but like now I look as like still very skinny. So they were always complaining about you have to get bigger and like this and that.
Shit.
I was like, no, I don't want that. And also I'm going to the gym, but because of my physique, I was like I'm not able to like I'm not taking steroids. Of course, if I'm taking steroids, I'm gaining all the muscles, but like that's not what I want. So there was so many issues with that, and it's like, back in the day, they paid pretty well, I have to say, as I remember. But I was like, for what reason? I have my job, I have enough money, I don't need it. I just did it because I like it. So I stopped it.
Okay, you have never... Oh yeah, you had your job, so you didn't have to be money driven.
No, I had enough money for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was just like, because I liked it.
But then did you start OnlyFans at the same time or in the same... No?
No. I started OnlyFans 2 years ago now, in January.
Only 2 years ago?
Yeah. So I'm a very sexual person. I love filming myself during sex. That's what I always loved. But I also love watching it. I also love watching other people having sex. So that's always a thing for me. I always was. But I was done with the porn industry. And then OnlyFans came, and then I still was like, oh, I mean, good for them. I love OnlyFans because I think it's good that like, because OnlyFans, everyone can do OnlyFans. So all this like every body type, every age, every skin color, like everyone can do that, and I love that. So there's more diversity, and there's like not anymore this like left leg here, right leg here. So it's, for me, that's, I think, great. But I still was like, I don't need it because I don't need the money. But then at some point in my life, a lot of my friends already did OnlyFans, and they always told me. We also did a episode on my podcast about OnlyFans, where like invited a friend of mine who told us about all the details and how that works and everything.
Was this before you started your...
Yes, it was before.
So you got inspired.
I did actually, but then at some point in my life, because I have a really good group of friends in Berlin, but a very small one, and everyone, I have a straight couple who are really very close to me. They got a baby. And then two of my other friends, they haven't had new jobs. So everyone kind of had a new project in their life, except me. I was just like going to work, to the hospital, and like going to the gym.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And I was like, I want to travel more and like have a new project in my life. And I was like, I could try OnlyFans because I still love it. And
did you have... Yeah, but you already had a big following, and you were...
I had, and I also had a thing in my life. I attended a stupid dating show in Germany. It was called Prince Charming, which is like the Gay Bachelor.
I heard about this.
Yeah. It's kind of the Gay Bachelor. I was one of the contestants, and I was on that show. And when I did that casting for that show, the porn stuff I did was like already 10 years ago for like 6 months. I was like another thing in my life, so I was not talking about this. Thinking, again, maybe a little bit naive, it's like, well, who cares about things like this? It's like 2020. So I got to that show. It was amazing. And then we got announced for like, filming. And then, when it's on TV, it's like we're getting announced on social media. The same day, it was exploding. I was like on the front. I was like, no, it wasn't even a porn star. I was like, so they accused me to like lying, that lying about my porn career, which was like 6 months. I was like, was that really a career? But they accused me to like lying so that about my life and like making it look like that it was a secret for me, or there was like I was like hiding something,
gossip.
And it was gossip, and it's like I was front page in like a newspaper in Germany, front page.
How did
like
you feel
this
about
big.
that?
Well, I mean, the thing is, my friends that were sending me like pictures like were laughing because it was not a secret. Because of course
they know you. They were like,
well, I mean, the thing is, of course, it's not something you tell people in your job interview, I was like, oh, by the way, like 6 months or like 6 years or 10 years ago, I did porn for like 6 months. That's what you say. But it's not, I'm not like, I'm not hiding it, or it's like, I'm not ashamed of this. It's just nothing important in my life. But I mean, it was what it was. But it was a lot because I was in that show, which was a really big show in Germany. But that was a big deal. And then the same day, there was even a bigger deal. So I was like, everything was like, it was a crazy time because like all the papers wanted to do an interview with me. Everyone wants to talk about it. Everyone was like, it's like, you know what I'm doing? And it's like also like this, like, the double standard.
Yeah.
The double standard of like,
Always.
everyone is using porn or consuming porn, but no one is allowed to do it.
Yeah,
no one is allowed to like work with this. And if you do it, you lose all the other right to like falling in love, being on a TV show, having attention, being on social media. You're losing all of that. You're not allowed to like do anything like
or
that.
apply for any other job. Or have a high position.
No,
be the
you're
boss.
not allowed. You're not allowed to have fun or like all finding love. Because if you're doing porn, you're not looking for love. You just need the attention and stuff like this. It was all.
Or you're traumatized.
Whatever. Yeah. It was all of this. And I was sitting there and they were like talking so bad about sex workers, like not even like porn and like the escorts and like the whatever. And I was sitting there, I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not letting this happen. I'm not letting people think that like sex workers are not worth like going on a TV show or having fun or whatever. So I was like, no, I'm turning this. I'm taking this and I'm taking the spotlight and I'm, like fighting for like sex workers. So that's what I did. We did a podcast episode about this and I was talking about this and like did all interviews, like fighting for these people. Not because.
No, but still, we need this.
Yeah, no, because it was why do people have the right to talk like this? But the thing is though, if they don't like something, that is fine. I don't like something too. But like, what gives them the right to like talk so bad about me or other people?
And cutting you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like taking away that like fun part and like taking away that like. There were like people like saying like, why is he on a TV show? Why are people like him allowed to be on TV? It's like, why they make it look like I'm like a serial killer or something.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird time for me. But I took all, and then the thing is also because there was like blackmailing on at work and stuff like this. So I like what it was. But like what I did, I'm very upfront. Like I told my boss.
Was it the media? The media contact?
I have no idea how it was.
Okay.
So I told my boss immediately next day. So like this day we got announced, everything exploded. The next day I went to my boss, I told him, and he was like, oh my God. And then we went to the bigger boss. We told him, and he was like, well, thank you that you told me that whatever you do in your private life is your private life. You can do whatever you want, but thank you for telling me. And so because of that happened, everyone knew about my porn past. Everyone knows.
You had no right to own your own story.
I was like, well, but I'm not ashamed of this. That's my life. And that was also the reason, because back to OnlyFans, that my friend said, Flo, you're so stupid. You're already the porn ushi. Like, why you're not why you're not trying it? Why? Because everyone knows it already, so that's not a secret for you anymore. So like, and you have all the right to do it, and it's like everyone knows it anyway. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, let's try OnlyFans, and if I don't like it, because I was still like kind of like, because I had my past with the porn industry like 10 years ago. I was like, I try it, and if I like it, I'm doing it, and if I don't like it, I could stop it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
So you started, and then from the moment you started, did you get an immediate boom?
Yeah, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting this because I started it and thought, oh, maybe if I'm, because the effort you put in this is not as big as you think. Because it's like you put a camera. That's how I do it. I think there are like different people that do it in different ways, but I put the camera there, and then whatever the camera sees is my video, which is kind of easy. And then I did it, and I was like, well, if I'm getting like 500 euros a month, it's good for like traveling and stuff like this. So I was like, I was shocked by like how easy money you can make with OnlyFans. So it was.
Especially for you, it was you had already like created a road for yourself.
The thing is also, I was already known as the slut. I was already known as the like the always naked. My Instagram is very slutty. I love being naked. I love showing off. I love the attention. And I had that big following already, even though I'm not advertising my OnlyFans at all on my Instagram. But still, like, it's my tattoos and everything, whatever it is. It's very flattering. I was very happy about it. I'm always like, the thing is, I don't see myself like this. I'm Flo the nurse. And I'm not like, I don't, I did nothing, I didn't save the world or something. So I just like, I'm still...
We're pretty close. If you're a nurse, you're doing the
that's true.
fight.
The thing is, though, that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of my work. I'm proud of my job in the hospital. I'm proud of my friends. I'm proud of what I reached in life. But, like social media and stuff, like, it's nice to have. And it's like, but... It was nice. It was nice to see, and it was nice to have, and it was very flattering. I was very, happy about it, and still when like people sometimes especially when you go like clubbing or to like events and people are like, oh my god, can I take a picture with you? And it's like I'm always laughing because I don't see myself like, I'm very flattered, and I think that's very nice of people, and I'm always happy to do that.
In clubs?
It was like not in clubs because that's not
more
allowed, but like
maybe.
more on the street or like festivals, stuff like this, or like other events like drag events or something like this. Or like even on the lake, I was laying in the sun and someone came. I was like, oh my god, can I take a video? Yeah. So I think that's very funny, but it's like I don't feel like this.
No, you're not aware of it really.
No. Mm-mm.
But like if we go back in time a little bit, you came to Berlin, and you were not doing porn yet.
No.
What was your view on clubbing and like what? And did you immediately? Were you drawn to sex clubs, and like what was your kind of?
I met a guy and we became friends. We never had sex or were now lovers, but we became really close friends. And he had a friend who worked at Berghain. When I was not even living in Berlin, but when I got the first time to Berlin, I didn't even know what Berghain is. He's like, oh, we're going to Berghain. I was like, what is that? I was like, it's a club. I was like, oh, okay. So we went to Berghain, and I had so much fun there because it was it's its own planet, its own universe, I would call it. And I went to the dark room and had a lot of sex that night.
The first time you went?
Yeah. I did it all. I went there, I was like, yes, this is my thing. This is my life. So that's how I got used to sex clubs. That was the first time I went to a sex club. Berghain was a kind of gay sex club in the past. Not so much anymore, even back then, but like, it's still a very sexual vibe. And that sexual vibe really got to me. I was like, oof, yes, this is my thing. And then I got used to like laboratory and like all this, like, and then I got introduced to like the fetish world, like all the fetishes, and then explored like got introduced to my fetishes.
Let's talk about
that. I have so many. It's like, and
I
didn't even know it.
Spill the juice. I love that. I saw some photos of you as a puppy, or
I think I took one picture with a puppy mask, but I'm not very a puppy.
You're not
That's
a puppy.
Not my
All
thing.
right.
That's not my thing.
No, because it would be a bit surprising. But still
yeah,
fun.
I'm not a puppy. I'm very into rubber.
Rubber.
I'm very into rubber. I love that. I love the aesthetic, and I love the playing with like shapes and everything. And I'm also.
You're a visual person too.
Very.
I feel a lot of rubber people are also very visual. Right?
Yeah. And I love that. I love sneakers. I love socks. I love piss. I never knew that I love piss, but I love kind of like. And I.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Did you go to laboratory and were excited for the shower?
No.
No?
The funny thing is, you're not going to the lab if you want to do like a good piss party or something. But they have a piss party, but that piss party is such a... I don't want to talk bad about this, but it's a very bad party. No, it happened in private life. In private.
Oh, right.
The piss happened in private. But I explored all of these things, or like got in touch with these like fetishes. And the thing is also, what I'm always in my sexual life, in my private sexual life, is I'm always trying everything. Everything legal, but and then decide afterwards if I like it or not. And so I got used to that.
So open. But it feels like you had never, because I feel that one thing to break free from before you try things is your own vision of yourself, or like from other people and even from yourself. Maybe did you not have that? Really?
No, the thing is, I'm like I said, I was always a very sexual person, and I was always like being naked, or like you know, so people like, oh, I'm very into like when people are watching me. So it was very easy for me and very, very hot to like go these like clubs and like do all these things and like, you know, and also live. You know, everyone has fantasies in their head and like they're thinking about fantasies. And I left laboratories so many times because I also live in that area, so I can walk. It's a 10 minutes walk home.
Oh, wow.
So I always left and walked home. And I was thinking, like, I live all my fantasies. And to me, there was nothing more free in life than living the fantasies you have in your sexual fantasy you have in your head. And then now I did that, and I did them all. I really did them all, and now I'm done. Now I'm like, no, I like going to bed and like watching Netflix. But like I did all these fantasies in these clubs and also private life. But
you still do them, or are you
sometimes?
Or are you less? You're more.
No, it's way less. Like back in the day, I was at the lab like every week. Like every like rubber party, every 2-for-1, every whatever I was always at the lab for like years.
Oh wow!
But at some point, and it's not bitter or something, but at some point I was just like did them all. And at some point I was like, okay, whatever. And now it's like when I go clubbing, I still love having sex in clubs. I still love people watching me, but it's way less than.
Get the Berghain toilet guy.
Yeah, which one?
One of them. Do you know their names?
What do you mean? The one who sits in the toilet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But there are more than one.
Yeah, exactly. But there's one who you see more often and one who's rarely, right?
Yeah.
And the one who's more often. But he was like very Berlin wisely said that like I'm flattered, but to me this is something very personal and very private.
Very private,
and it belongs there. But for me, for example, I am super open-minded, and I believe I'm not into piss. Like that's what I feel now. But I'm very curious about how it works and what does it. Like when you realized you were, how did it work? What was the feeling, of
it's a submissive part to me. It's just like submissive. It's the same thing like if someone is coming in your face. That's the kind of the same thing. That's submissive thing that you're like not you're below them. Either. You're like you're just a toilet. You're just like whatever. You're just a hole. Just a The submissive part is the part of.
Thank you.
But it's also like the dominant. I also love it. I'm very verse, so I also love the other part. I also love pissing on someone and having the, like being the dom part, like being the one who is pissing.
Me.
Yeah. Wow. And that also gives a lot to me. Yeah. I think that's for me. I don't know I think that's kind of the same for everyone. I guess the submissive, sitting next to like. Yeah. I can tell you a really funny story about these guys. There was a day when they were both at the toilet. And at some point, the one guy was standing next to me. I was on the piss while I was pissing, and the one guy was standing next to me pissing as well. And I asked him, so wait, like, why are you not going to like the other guy and piss on him? And he was like, ooh, I don't like that. I was like, what?
That
was so funny. It was like, because I was like, why are you pissing in the piss while you can piss? No, I don't like that. I was like, what? And another really funny story about the piss party at the lab. I have a friend of mine who is kind of like a serious guy, but he's also kind of sexual. And then he was very horny, and he wanted to go to the lab, but there was a piss party at that night. And I was like, you know what? I go to the piss party. You can fuck anyway. So he was standing at the bar at the lab. Have you been to the lab?
Never been to the lab. Well, the area, but not to the.
But the bar, because on New Year's everything is open. There's this big room. There's a bigger room. There's the bar is inside, and so he was standing there and ordered like whatever to drink, and there was an older guy sitting next to him, and that guy at some point started pissing on his leg, in his shoe. And my friend was like, what are you doing? And the guy was like, well, it's a piss party. I was like, kind of like, but like, how random is this? Like, you're not. But yes, it's a piss party, but you can't just piss on someone's leg at the bar.
Like a dog.
And my friend was like,
Oh
I'll never
my
go there
God.
again. And it's like when you see my friend, he's very serious, like a very conservative guy. I was like, you know what? He pissed on my leg. So good.
Oh my God.
Or don't piss. How do you say it in America? Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Just like that's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stupid.
He had reason to be annoyed for sure.
No,
Okay,
but the thing is that's so random.
it's so random.
I mean, you can go. Yes, it's a piss party, but not at the bar.
Also, like,
not
you
in my
have to
shoe.
talk to people. You
Right?
cannot just like be assuming that if it's a sex time, you
Consent.
can do whatever you want or
No,
whatever.
it's consent.
safe,
It's like
yeah.
you know, it's like you have to. Okay, are you okay with like did I piss in your shoe?
Flop, 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 flop.
But it's so funny to me when yeah.
Oh my God, so funny. Okay, I love this Christmas episode. It's 4 days to Christmas today.
Merry
we
Christmas.
Are,
Am I allowed to say Merry Christmas before Christmas? No, right?
I don't know. Is it a German thing you're not?
I don't know.
Don't
I'm
you
not
say Merry Christmas all of December?
No.
No?
No.
Just me then.
No. What? Well, what, you wish someone? No. Well, no. You wish someone Merry Christmas if like today, as like one of my coworkers, he left for like vacation and then he's coming back after Christmas. So he wished me Merry Christmas. So I guess it's okay.
I guess it's
I guess
okay.
you're fine.
Thank God.
I mean, we're going to hell anyway, right?
But to speak a little bit about Christmas.
Yes.
Because it's also, yeah, like, what's your view on Christmas? For starting off.
I like the Christmas time.
Yeah.
I like now the time when, well, the thing is not in Berlin actually, because in Berlin no one is putting lights on the windows and everything. Where I grew up in the village, like everyone had lights on the windows, even like, you know, in the trees, and like everything was like, it was so cute. I love the Christmas time, like, you know, baking cookies and stuff like this. But Christmas itself, it's not really my thing. It was my thing when my mom was still alive, because with my mom and my grandma, you know, we were cooking, we were watching movies, everyone got presents, that was always nice. But when she died, because for her...
You were working?
What?
Are you prioritizing working then?
I was working what?
Like a nurse, you have to work, no?
I was like, yeah, but not back in the day. I was like, I started nurse school when I was 18. That was when my mom died the same year. And then when she died, my Christmas was gone. I was not celebrating Christmas for like, I don't know, 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because I didn't like it anymore, because I was still in shock about the death of my mom, and because everything what was Christmas for me was with my mom, and she was gone, so Christmas was gone. Yeah, but then at some point I got back to like, you know, making friends, and then so I had kind of like Christmas with my friends. That's what I have now. So now we have a tradition on Christmas. Yeah, now we have a tradition on Christmas Day. Wait, Christmas Day is 25, right? Because it's in Germany, it's very different. 24th, we are cooking together. We have like a little like presents and like playing games. And then we have the tradition that we always go to Berghain on Christmas Day. That's the tradition. And it's always crazy fun. No, it's like I'm always going to Christmas because only Panama bar is open. So it's very hard to get in. But I have a lot of friends who work there, so I always have guest list or like even, you know, walking in. But it's a very good party. I think it's if it's not it's one of the best parties a year.
Is it Christmas spirit?
No, not at all. not at all. But it's kind of like, because everyone left, like all the, you know, foreigners, they left Berlin for Christmas because they're all going home. They're all coming back for New Year's. And just Berliners are like, they're like just family, just people I know. And it's like, it's always a get together with all the people you know. It's really cute. And the music is always really good because they book all the good DJs for that day. Yeah, it's really cool. But it's just Panama bar, yeah.
Oh my God, so fun. Okay, what's your best tip? This is the last question, I think. What's your best tip to people who are feeling a bit lonely over Christmas on how to do it right?
I mean, I need to know why they're lonely.
You know, it can be anything. It can be they don't feel accepted by their family. They are not accepted by the family.
They could be assholes.
They could be assholes.
Right? So my first tip was like, don't be an asshole. No,
all right,
I'm just
fair
kidding.
enough.
No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean. People always think...
Behave.
Yeah, but people always think that other people or like situations have to bring them happiness. But I think you have to make yourself happy. Because if I'm lonely, I need connections to people. So I go somewhere where I have to connection to people. Either I'm like, I'm going out, or like maybe going to a bar, or like going to Berghain and meet people, so I'm not lonely. Or like I make myself happy in maybe I should cook myself something nice, or I'm like watching a movie, or like going to the cinema alone. But you don't have to feel alone if you're trying to get connected to people or like situations, because it's always very easy to like sit at home and say, oh, I'm lonely, I don't want to. But take it in your hand and like try to make something out of it.
Yeah, I think it's easier if you live in Berlin. Somehow.
It's true, yeah, but you
move to Berlin then.
Yeah, but you can be very lonely in Berlin too.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I think it's very hard to make friends in Berlin if you're new in the city. Because the difference between Berlin and other places, I think it's big city, like big city is big city, but it's very hard to stay connected to people.
Yeah.
Because you can meet them this weekend, but next weekend you meet totally different people.
Yeah.
So especially in the beginning, you have to really stay connected and like work on friendships. That's in the beginning. I think to any big city you move. It was also for me. It was in the beginning. It was very I'm getting very easy connected to people, but it was very hard to stay connected.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like.
And people go in for a year and move out, and
it's also very hard to find really close, good friends, because it's very easy to find party friends. But life is not only a party, and sometimes if you need your friends in different ways, like these party friends are like disappearing. So, but lucky that I made like really good friends here. So
yeah, that is a big one. Like just feeling that is so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Flo.
Thank
it was
you for
such a big
having me.
pleasure to have you and getting to know you
Thank
better. But now it's the extra material.
This was it for Playful Podcast this week, but please follow, subscribe, and listen to our next episode. And if you want to have a say about future artists, or even ask your own question to one of our guests, follow us on Instagram and make sure to add your question when we lift our coming guests. Thank you so much for joining, and see you next week.